What up, world, and welcome back to another episode of the Hot Seat Podcast. I'm your host, Trees Trims, and today we're in the building with business consultant, public figure, Marine Corps veteran, insurance broker, and real estate investor, Trevormwoodruff. Welcome to the show, my man.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing, brother?
Oh man, life is good. God is great.
Good. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be here on the show today, my man, and it means a lot to us.
Hey, it means a lot to me. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. So, if you've seen this show before, I like to start with the background check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the first question I got for you is, who are you?
Well, I'm just somebody just trying to be an example, man. I'm trying to be an example to my community, trying to be an example to my family, because, you don't see a lot of people who make it, that you personally know who make it. So, and then a lot of people don't even want to put themselves out there because they've been taught, to, live a quiet life, you know what I'm saying? Don't put yourself out there, don't cause any waves. So I'm just somebody who's trying to be an example to people that you could live your life and say what you have to say, and you don't have to, follow the rules, man, because they're all made up. You could be what you want to be and do what you want to do,
Right.
So I'm just trying to be an example, not necessarily a role model, but an example for the community.
Got it. I love it. All right, man. So I think the first question, you answered that one pretty well. I want to let you know that, because a lot of times when I ask people, who are you, they get a little thrown off. I run down the titles, and then I say, who are you? And they have no idea. So you did a good job. I'm getting you on that.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Shout out to that. Okay, so when I hear public figure, like, that sounds real good. What do you mean by that? What does public figure mean?
So public figure is just somebody that, a lot of people know. That's pretty much what it is. It's a lot of people know me. So a lot of people know me from being a Marine, just because I was always on the news when I was a drill instructor. I was, like I said, I put myself out there.
Okay.
So I no holds barred. So a lot of people know me. I'm not like a public figure such as a politician or like LeBron James or anybody, but
Right.
on a community level, I'm known.
Right. I love it. All right, so you brought it up, so let's get into that.
Okay.
Your time in the military, and first we want to thank you for serving.
Hey, thanks.
So and I mean that honestly. Thank you for serving, and you were in what? The Marines, right?
Marine Corps, yeah.
How many years you do?
So I did 11 years.
11 years.
11 years, a couple months. I think 11 years, 5 months, but 11 years. That's what I tell people.
So what I love hearing is those boot camp stories, man. So I need to hear your best boot camp story, man. Okay. I'm a Full Metal Jacket fan. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot's changed since then, but let's talk about one of your favorite or funniest or whatever, one of those stories that sticks out the most.
So I got a lot of funny ones, right? But I have one serious one that I'll put out there, So when I was in boot camp, I almost got dropped. A lot of people don't know this, but I almost got dropped. Because I was still in that that hood mentality. We were close to going home. We were in third phase. I think I was like probably 3 weeks away from graduating, and we do this thing called IT. You know what I'm saying? So I was on the quarterdeck getting IT. And my drill instructor was yelling and screaming at me like, push-ups, sit-ups, and all this other stuff. And so I was just having a bad day, and I was just like, F you, dog. You wouldn't do this if we was in the hood. And he went nuts. He went nuts. He went inside the senior drill instructor's duty hut, man, and hey, after that I was just gone. They dropped me to Charlie Company, but yeah, so that's something that always sticks out to me, because it was like.
Wait a minute, brother. Reverse. You're not gonna talk to us like that, all right?
Okay.
What's Charlie Company? What does all that mean?
Charlie Company. So.
Okay, did you still graduate?
Yeah, I still graduated.
Okay, he dropped you down to Charlie Company. What is that?
So, I got kicked out of my platoon. They were gonna send me home.
Okay.
They were gonna send me home.
So you basically got like a second chance.
Yeah, they
like
gave
Antonio Brown. They was like, you know what? You got one more chance, bro.
Antonio got like 16 chances.
He gonna get one more next year too. Watch.
Yeah, I heard with the Ravens, man. But yeah, so like me getting dropped is like that's either them sending me home or kicked out of boot camp. That's them sending me home. But me getting dropped, that means I go to a different platoon. And I had a bunch of friends, man, and I remember like watching them graduate because I was with Golf Company, because it's different companies. So I moved to Charlie Company, which was 2 weeks behind them. And I remember like that was the first time I felt like I let other people down, because we had plans. Like me and my friends in boot camp, we had plans to do things, and like I'm sitting there, cleaning the windows, watching them graduate, crying, So it hit me hard, and it was like one of those things that one of the beginning stages of me changing as a person, because when I was in boot camp, like I was just in boot camp just to go to boot camp, like because I didn't want to go to college.
You weren't fully committed.
There you go. I was not fully committed, man. But after that, my commitment got a little bit stronger. I won't say I was fully committed when that happened, but it got a little bit stronger because me seeing them graduate before me and not being able to hang out with them.
Knowing you were a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having to go back and do 2 extra weeks.
With new people.
Right. They looking at you like, who is this guy?
Exactly.
Oh, man. That's an incredible story, man. That is crazy. So, in the military, you served 11 years. That was just boot camp. And that was a lesson learned right there.
Right.
Would you say that kind of jump started you into, what did that do for you going forward when you did graduate? How did that change the way you took or viewed being in the military? Did that change for you, or?
Well, in the beginning it didn't. I didn't have that. So graduating, like, everybody talks about like, oh, I had a sense of pride when I graduated. I was just happy to graduate.
Right.
I didn't want to be there. I was just happy to graduate, man.
I'm out of this phase.
The thing that really made me change was, being around other people, man. I have my sister, I call her my sister. We still talk to this day. Magwala, she's from Africa. And I used to like talk slang to her and all of this. And because she was from Africa, she didn't know all the stuff that, us in our communities actually know. You know what I'm saying? So, she would tell me stuff about love and how Africans actually conducted themselves. And like, she was like, always, why are you doing that? That's stupid. Why are you doing that? And she helped me change. But the biggest thing was being around other people, other cultures, because at that point, I had never been around different cultures at all.
Okay.
So me actually getting to hang out with Mexicans, Spanish people, and all these other different cultures, it just changed my view on the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and I started just taking from everybody. I started learning from people's mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So I started maturing as every single day. Like, I would make mistakes and I would learn from them. I would see other people make mistakes and I would learn from their mistakes. And and it made me who I am today.
Wow. So would you say that was the biggest benefit of joining the military, is being able to travel and be exposed to different experiences? And
so I read something. I read something on social media, either Facebook or Instagram or something like that. It said that moving out of your neighborhood is a life hack. Because you put yourself around different people, and because I noticed this, like when I go back home, like people only know what's in those four streets of the block. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's all you know. That's all you know.
Right, and you could get stuck there too.
Oh,
that's
the mentality. You get stuck because of the mentality. But when you go outside of that and you see that life is not outside of that, is not what it is inside of it, it changes your whole perspective. You start to change. You start to want to change because you start to see that life is not as bad as you view it. We used to, as kids, I never used to be able to go outside, man, because we had GDs and BDs on our stoop, you know what I'm saying? The crack valves on the ground, you know, pills on the ground.
It wasn't safe.
Yo, it wasn't safe whatsoever. We used to have to ask to go to the park just to play. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's the environment I grew up in. But then like me moving to California, it was a totally different environment, and it changed my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He said it changed my mind. That's why the palm trees and beaches and good weather, huh?
Way better than oak trees, man. Shoot, way better than oak trees, man. Like yo, I fell in love with California. That's why I live out here now.
It's a little bit more expensive, but hey,
it's worth it, man.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Absolutely. That's what's up, man. So, transitioning out of the military, how was that for you? Like, was that a tough transition? Because once you get in the military, like you said, you came in with this mentality, still kind of a street or hood mentality.
Yeah.
You learned some lessons in boot camp, fully committed as your transition into the military. You've been exposed, you got to travel, you got to enjoy some things and kind of see things in a different light. So, from there, how was the transition back into the civilian world for you?
For me, it was easy, just because I mean, to put it all in perspective, I started working around, so like once I became an entrepreneur, right? I became an entrepreneur when I was an actual drill instructor or whatnot. You know, I started seeing life a little bit different, and I started like slowly but surely transitioning my mind from being in the military, because I started reading books. I started hanging out with other entrepreneurs. I started watching YouTube videos, motivational videos from different people, Ed Milet, different pastors, Joel Osteen, and people like that. And I started looking at Robert Kiyosaki, Dan Locke, Dan Pena, and I just started seeing them. And so my transition was like, it was smooth. Like I didn't have a moment of depression or anything, because like I came out and I was like, the military has taught me how to be they taught me how to be a entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? Public speaking, delegating, and all this stuff. So like
discipline.
Yeah. All the things that you need to be successful. So when I came out, it was like I'm trying to own the world. You know?
Right.
So yeah, it was simple transition for me. No depression, no nothing, man.
And you know, a lot of times I wouldn't even necessarily say I geared that question towards like thinking like, oh, was it depression? Was it? It's just a little like some people are just confused after they go through a routine for so long. You did that for 11 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get so used to that routine, and then some people aren't thinking about what's next. So like, what came for you first? Was it the real estate investing, or was it the insurance broker? Like what was the first thing you jumped right into after the military?
So I'll tell you this. The reason why I did it so long is because I was passionate about the military, right? You know, a lot of people are looking for passion, right? But you're not going to find passion until you do something for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Right. So me being in 11 years was because I was passionate. But once I found entrepreneurship, I found my purpose. I found my purpose once I found entrepreneurship. My first business was an ATM business. So like when I was a drill instructor, I used to have a gunnery sergeant, man. Great guy. He used to always talk about taxes and all this stuff. Me being young, I'm like, dude, nobody cares about that stuff. Man, you know, I would get home, you know, tired and this and this, and I'd be like, yo, there's got to be a better way than this. So, you know, first I got into the stock market. After I got into the stock market, I was like, man, what's next? The gunnery sergeant told me, he was like, yeah, you should start owning a business. He was making $8,000 extra while we were on the depot. And I was like, 8,000? Yeah. Wow. And I was amazed at it. So I was like, now I got to get into business. So I was getting promoted to staff sergeant. And, you know, I asked people, I said, hey, I'm going to buy a house. What type of house do you think I should buy? Oh, buy a 1-bedroom house. It's just you. Then I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to buy 4 bedrooms and I'm going to rent them out. So that way I don't have to pay my mortgage. Man, and when I did that, it was on and popping, because I did that. I didn't pay my mortgage. I didn't pay my car note. You know what I'm saying? That
so you're just stacking it.
Yeah.
Everything's paid for.
Everything's paid for by my renters, and not to mention, I'm keeping all of this money. I'm investing it still. You know what I'm saying? And then at the time, I started learning about taxes, and it just became a spiral. Like I started when you find your purpose, like you know what it is. Like you know what your purpose is. Like it didn't take me that long, man. I'm talking about, and this is a span of maybe 4 or 5 months. I got into the 18. Well, let's say I started stocks. Then after that, I got into the ATM business. Then after that, I started renting out my Then after that, I started going to seminars about real estate. I started getting around entrepreneurs, listening to them talk. Oh, you need to read books. Oh, snap, I'm reading books. Dude, we went out to dinner one time, and this hit me like this. You know, one of the guys I was with, he paid for the whole table. It was like 16 of us. We went out to dinner after a seminar. It was like 16 of us. And I remember him telling me, he was like, yo, you never, break bread with your enemy. Which one is more important? The cost of the meal or the conversation that you're having? And I was like, the conversation. He said, when you're around us, only one person pays. I was like, so from then on, I was
I gotta get my bars up, huh?
Yeah, I was like,
I know that meal wasn't cheap.
It wasn't. We ate at Maestro's.
Okay.
We ate at Maestro's, and like after that, man, I started implementing that stuff.
Maestro's, where's that at?
Maestro's. We were in Las Vegas, I believe.
Okay.
I think either Las Vegas or Los Angeles. Either Las Vegas or Los Angeles. I can't remember, but. We ate at Maestro's, man. It was like 16, 17. It was a lot of us, right? And like when he did that, man, that it blew my mind, and I started thinking. I was like, dang, man, you know, I gotta start taking this stuff serious, man. I was already taking it serious, but like
you saw the potential in it.
Now,
if he can afford to come out and pay for 17.
Well, not just that. I started realizing that the money wasn't. He said, which one is more important?
The money or the conversation?
And I'm like, it's the conversation's more important. Right. People are thinking the money's more, some people would think the money is more important, but the conversation that you have, like the conversation we're having, you're giving me information, I'm giving you information. It's a give and take, yeah, give and take thing, And what we were talking about at that, when you're talking to different people, we're talking about like their background, how long they've been an entrepreneur, what they do. Some people did real estate, some people were doing crypto. So we were having a bunch of different business conversation that was stimulating my mind.
Right.
So I was learning.
Right.
So that's what he meant by which one is more important.
No, absolutely, I get that point. But then at the same time, it's a motivational factor when you see somebody in a position to be able to pay for everybody's meal.
Oh yeah.
And say, hey, I'm paying for everybody's meal because I know what the real importance of this sit down is.
I know what the real investment is.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is that's cool right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you tell anybody that's curious or interested in getting into real estate or insurance broking?
Do it. Take action and do it, man. Because, we only get one life. You know what I'm saying? I think the average man, don't quote me on it, I think the average man lives like 60-some years and the average woman lives up to like, I think 81 or something like that. So like, you only get one life. You gotta, a lot of people are scared to take action on their dreams and goals, but because they feel like they can't do it. But I think the evidence that you dream about it, that you think about it, that you can see yourself doing it, means that you can achieve it. You just got to take action. You got to make it a reality. So if I could tell anybody to do anything, is that, take action on it. It won't be easy because you have to learn and you have to be willing to fail too. I think you have to be willing to fail because there's lessons in the failure. And then when you learn from those lessons, it gets a little bit easier as you go. And as you go, you start to help people up because you can't be afraid to like put yourself out there, and you can't be afraid to lose money because, think about it.
There's no perfect time to start.
Yeah. Think about it. How much
Not
money
to cut you off, but I just want to let y'all know we using that right there because that's the underdog mentality. It kind of leads me back to the reason I started my clothing brand. You know what I mean? A lot of times when you're getting into something new, and you may not have the resources or the experience or knowledge or whatever it is, it seems impossible. But if you still go after it, like you said, it's not going to be easy. Yeah. You're going to have to stumble and figure it out and learn and take some L's and all of that, but eventually it'll all work out. Yeah. So big salute to all my supporters with the Underdog brand. It's a shameless plug, but hey, we all we got, baby.
I'd say this, man. People have to understand failure is acceptable, quitting is not. You know, when you could fail at you could fail at different things, man. Just don't quit. If you want to decide to be an entrepreneur, if you want to decide to go after your dreams and goals, do not quit, because you make everybody who doubted you right. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be about it shouldn't be about like, you know, what they think. You should care less about what they think. But at the end of the day, you got to understand, like, every day that you do this, you become stronger. It's like, you know, building muscle. Every single day, every single, you know, thing that you go through, money you lose, you know, failures, all of that stuff adds to the journey. And when you get there, it's more worth it when you start making it happen.
Yeah, you know? Yeah.
So people just have...
There's beauty in the struggle.
Okay.
There's beauty in the struggle, man.
Who said that? J. Cole, right?
Yeah, my brother J. Cole.
J. Cole, right? I like it. Yeah, it is.
And that's so true, though. You know, a lot of people, they look at the end result and never the journey that went into it. Yeah. And a lot of times when you look back, that was the best part.
Yo, you fall in love with the struggle, man. You start looking at it, you're like, man, yeah, I gotta do this again. And then you start to learn when you jump into something new, after you've had that success, you're like, you know what? I know I'm gonna struggle at first, but guess what? When we make what we're gonna make, when we make it happen,
it feel real good.
It is. And you fall in love with that, man.
Yeah.
The thing is that you gotta remember why you started. I think a lot of people forget why they started. You know, a lot of people. The thing is that I think a lot of people don't start because of. Think about this. Your parents tell you to do what? Oh, make sure you have all your ducks in a row. You know what I'm saying? When you're in school, if you give the wrong answer, you get laughed at. You got to make sure you're right about everything. Dude, entrepreneurship is not about being right all the time. It's about being right one time.
Right.
That's it.
Take that chance, man.
Exactly.
Take that chance. I love it. All right. Well, as you know, man, we've been incorporating a new segment in our show, which is the Intermission. Intermission is where first we tell you who this show is powered by. Today, this show is powered by the Hot Seat Barber Lounge. So for a lot of y'all that don't know, I am a barber. So the podcast thing is something that comes secondary to my regular profession, which is cutting hair. So if you're in the IE area and you're in need of a barber, go ahead and download the Cut app and then go to the link book.co/trees trims. I know I messed that all up, but the links will be provided in the video. So big shout out to the Cut app. Big shout out to Trees Trims, which is me. You know what I mean? Shout yourselves out sometimes. You know what I mean? And if you're in need of a haircut, tap in. All right, next, we want to shout out our latest 3 subscribers. So first shout out goes to You Can't Be Me. Shout out to you. Thank you for following and thank you for your support. Second shout out goes to my brother Rasta Nate, which is probably one of the first people that kind of introduced me to podcasts. So shout out to you, brother. And we got something coming real big for y'all next season, so stay tuned for that. And last but not least, our last guest from the podcast, Loud Thoughts Official, has been showing mad love, mad support on social media, and as well as following the podcast. So shout out to Loud Thoughts Official. Salute. With that being said, it brings us to the Fuego Fact of the day. And, you know, a lot of times I look these facts up or I talk to my team and I ask, you know, if they know any random facts. But today, this fact came from our guest. And let me get my phone out because I want to say it just how he said it. You know what I'm saying? Let me check this out. Okay. So the Fuego Factor today is the average person pays 40% of their lifetime income in taxes. So you're basically working 40% of your life for free. Do I need to read that one more time? Let me read it one more time. I like to do that. The average person pays 40% of their lifetime income. So whatever you make for a lifetime, 40% of that goes to Uncle Sam. Like you like to say, or you're working for free. So that's like partial slavery kind of. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Either way, I don't like the sound of it, man. So whatever you could do to avoid paying taxes, no, I'm just joking. You gotta pay your taxes. You gotta know it's real. Just know how much Uncle Sam is making off of you. Whoa. Keep that in mind. And also, always, if you're going out there and you're making this money, make sure you're doing it in like more of a entrepreneurial or independent area, so that at least the other 60% you can reap the benefits from. That's what I'm gonna say from that. How did I wrap that up? How I do with that? Was that good?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man.
But I tell you this, I'm not trying to pay taxes.
Right, you like Donald Trump out here. You like taxes?
Yeah, I'm not trying to pay taxes. If I can keep the money, then you know what I'm saying.
And if you got some tips to my viewers and listeners about how to kind of work your way around some of these things when you get into a space where your money's getting up here and those taxes are starting to really eat at you. If you got any tips for how people can do that, man, stay involved and we're gonna make sure we get them your information so they can tap in and listen to them videos that you drop in.
Yeah.
Because this man right here is going ham. I'm learning a lot. I just watch your page and I'm like, I didn't know that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so shout out to you for that, man. And that brings us into our next segment, which is rapid fire. Rapid fire is usually about 5 questions.
Okay.
One question answer.
All right.
Either this or that.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that real quick because I feel, we got a lot more to talk about. Okay. After that, we're going into Trevormwoodruff's rant of the day. Okay, and we're gonna let you talk about whatever the hell you want to say. Cause man, you got a lot to talk about. Okay, so let's just do this rapid fire real quick.
Okay.
It's simple. It's real fun, easy. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Okay. Good answer. I'm a pizza guy too. But I love tacos too. All right. TV or podcast?
Podcast all day.
Okay. So, real estate investment or stock investment?
Real estate.
Nice. Why? I gotta ask her why.
Real estate, you get the best tax breaks. Stocks, you gotta pay realized gains tax on that, capital gains tax. So, yeah. Real estate, there you could depreciate the asset and it offsets your taxable income. So, yeah, real estate all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
My man, Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
You said that quick. Why?
Biggie. Well, one is because the way Biggie rhymed on a beat, like he had that flow. What do you say? B-I-G-G-I. What do you say? Man, I can't even remember.
Yeah. I know.
No, P-O-P-P-A, no info.
For the DEA, federal agent bag, because I'm favorite tap in the basement.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had that.
My team supreme, stand clean. Triple beam, lyrical dream. I be that. Catch me at all events spent. Gats and hoses, girls on shoulders. Playboy, I told you, being nice to be. All right, shout out to Biggie, man.
Yeah, he had that, man. You know what I'm saying? He had that, Tupac was a little bit more straight, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But him, he was you could create.
A finesser.
Yeah.
That boy was a smooth guy.
Man.
Yeah.
And not to mention like the punch.
Black and ugly as ever. However, I stay coochie down to the socks.
Oh my God.
All right, man. That was a good pick, man. Shout out to Tupac too. Rest in peace to both of them brothers, man.
Plus, I'm an East Coast fan. I love East Coast music. East Coast rap.
That's why I like to ask that, because immediately I can tell, okay, he's on more of a East Coast side.
I think on Kendrick, The Game, and then Nipsey. That's probably it on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
crazy.
it on the West Coast.
Rocking
That's
with
not
Game.
a shot, but yeah, I like the game, man.
All right, last question. Forrest Gump or Pursuit of Happiness?
Pursuit of Happiness. Pursuit of Happiness. Forrest Gump was a great movie, though. Classic. It's a great question.
Absolutely. Well, you did pretty good, man. You did the rapid fire. It's pretty good, man. Which brings us to now, Trevormwoodruff's rant of the day. Now, we talked about a couple topics, man.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you know, this is the first part of the conversation where I'm not exactly sure where this conversation is. Okay. And I like that. Okay. It's good. It's a good thing.
All right.
All right. Now, you gave me a couple topics. The first one I want to talk about is why is it so important to you? Or why do you think it's so important for a father to be in the household? That's one of the topics you told me you wanted to speak about today. And so, you know, I can relate, but I want to hear from your perspective what it is that made you want to speak about that.
Well, for our community, man, so I'll put it to you like this. I think it's 70 to 75% of black children are raised in single parent households, you know, and what the evidence shows is that when kids are raised in a single parent household, especially boys, they're more prone to go to jail. The chances of them going to jail increases. I mean, just look at our community, you know what I'm saying? The homicides, just look at it, you know what I'm saying? And then also for girls, they're more prone to, you know, having children at a young age, you know what I'm saying? Like, just look at it. The statistics. There's more to the statistics than that. You know what I'm saying? More increased chances of going to jail, increased chances of being a rapist, There's so much to that one statistic about the father being in the home that is so important. You know, a lot of people don't know this. That, you know, so the black population is what I think it's 13 or 14%, but we commit over 50% of the crimes in America, and black men are only 6% of America, and we commit majority of the crimes in America. So you see what I'm saying? So it's a traditional thing. Like when the father is in a home, the child, it's better for the child. You know, the children, regardless if it's a girl or a boy, they benefit more when it's a two-parent home. And I think that's like one of the best things about marriage, you know what I'm saying, that it takes two, you know, to raise a child, you know, and if the father can't be in a home, because I know other people have their situations, they have to have a father figure, you know, a mentor, a pastor, somebody to be there, especially boys, you know what I'm saying, especially boys, because, I mean, look at, men are the ones who commit majority of the crimes.
Right.
So, yeah, I 110%. I believe in, you know, I believe in marry before you carry. You know, I believe in the dad being in the home or the dad having some type of relationship with that son or daughter. You know, I believe in it. So.
I like that. And it's also, you know, kind of goes back to something that you told me before as far as your upbringing.
Yeah, I didn't have a father.
You were in foster care or adopted? Okay.
Yeah, I was foster care, and I was adopted twice, but I really didn't have a father. You know what I'm saying? And at points of times, like I look back on being a kid, I was a bad kid. You know, I didn't have any guidance. You know, the best thing I would say about the military is that, you know, I had mentors who actually taught me everything my father should have taught me. The story about me getting kicked out of, almost, you know, getting dropped in boot camp and almost being sent home. Right. That probably wouldn't have happened if my father was in the house. You know what I'm saying? So having a father in the house is so important. You know, and in our society today, it's like now I could take care of a kid on my own, but it's not good for the child. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I think is the problem, because no one's ever questioning because a woman is, and shout out to all the women out there, because women are so powerful. Yeah. They're so strong. They make a lot of sacrifice, especially when it comes to the family unit. Mm-hmm. But going out there, and it's a lot of women saying, well, I could do both and I'll be your mom and dad, but no, you can't. Yeah. And so even if you do get to a place where you don't see the eye to eye with this woman and your relationship's not working out, women, don't not let the man be in the kid's life. And vice versa. Yeah. There's men that might be trying, whatever it is, just let that child have both. If both parents are still willing to be involved and care enough to be there, let them do that. Yeah. It's simple.
Or talk bad about the father or the mother behind their back in front of the
child. And don't do that either. Your opinion of them is your opinion. Yeah. But our kids look at us like superheroes. Yeah. We could really do there ain't much wrong we could do. Yeah. So don't take that image of the father or the mother to your child, because at the end of the day there was a reason why you laid down and had a child with that person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you this much. What people have to realize is this: children don't do what you tell them to do. They do what you do. They do exactly what they see you do. Mm-hmm. So when a girl sees, oh, my mom was a single parent, you know what I'm saying? Well, my mom was a single parent. She made it on by. She wasn't, super duper, rich or anything, but she made it on by. She made it on work. Right. She's like, I could do the same thing. Right. Same thing with a boy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my dad, he wasn't he wasn't married. He wasn't this. He had multiple children.
I do the same thing.
Do the same thing. Cool. Just like when you tell your children don't smoke, what do? Smoke. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because they see you do it every day. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize, like, in your children's eyes, everything you do as a parent, you're an example. And a lot of people tell me, like, oh, you're not married, you can't speak on that, but there's statistics out there. Mm-hmm. You look at the statistics, and then I grew up without my mom, foster care, without a dad, without a father figure. You know what I'm saying? So
you're a living testament of what it is. Yeah, you can definitely speak on it.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is just that straightened me out was the military, because it gave me that structure. It gave me that structure that a father would. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
that's incredible. All right, well, that leads me to the next thing I want to talk about. And if for anybody that don't know, man, we came up with our own title for this show. And the title for the show is Financial Literacy is More Important Than Money.
Yes.
Right?
True statement.
So I know I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but a lot of your background is based on income. Investing.
Yes.
How to make money, how to save money, how to keep money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk a little bit about that and why you think financial literacy is more important than money.
So the reason why I love that it's a simple statement and it says a lot. The reason being is because you can make as much money as you want, but if you don't have without the financial literacy, you'll never be able to keep it. Think about those who win the lottery. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When they win the lottery, a lot of them, they end up going broke. They end up spending it on liabilities and stuff like that. A lot of people don't even know what liabilities and assets are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know about taxes. Let
me ask you this: why are you talking about liabilities and assets? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like liabilities and assets change depending on the person?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking you that is because I seen an interview and Rick Ross was saying, okay, I can invest in this private jet. A lot of people would look at that as a liability. But if he knows multiple people that will use that jet a year and it pays for itself, is that still considered a liability? Or
no, it's not a liability. The reason being is because it puts him in front of people faster. He doesn't have to wait in line.
So that's an investment.
Yeah, of course it's an investment because it puts. I mean, it's an investment and asset because it puts money in his pocket. Because every time he needs to fly somewhere, he could do it as fast as he wants when he wants to. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to wait in line. He doesn't have to. Oh, I can't find this ticket. You get what I'm saying? So it.
But for the average person, buying a jet would not be.
Well, average person can't buy a jet. But for somebody who's as rich as him or has as much money as
that's
him,
not considered a liability.
No, it's not. It's not a liability. You know what I'm saying? Because he can afford it, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even if he couldn't afford to buy one, he could afford to fly private whenever he wants to.
No, yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand it puts money into his pocket. Think about it. They could do a tour, right? The tour could be the first day in Los Angeles, and then the next day, or matter of fact, that day he has to be in Los Angeles at the daytime that morning.
And that night he got to be in Miami. He'd be there.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It makes him more accessible, so he can make more money. So it's an asset. An asset is nothing but things that put money into your pocket. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. A lot of people will say, a G-Shock and a Rolex. You see those quotes on Instagram. They say a G-Shock and a Rolex tell the same time. It's not about the time at that point. A G-Shock doesn't hold value. A Rolex does. You can buy a Rolex for 15 grand and then sell it for 30 or down the line. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're not able to sell it for 30, you'll be able to sell it for what you got it for.
What you got it for.
You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
Same thing goes with like these exotic cars. People, I think a lot of these posts keep people broke, you know what I'm saying? Because people will be like, a Honda Civic, take you the same place as a Rolls Royce. Well, one thing is you're getting there different. You driving a Honda Civic, the Rolls Royce, you riding in the back, which means you could text. You ain't got to worry about getting tickets. You get what I'm saying?
You can check your email to do whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Not to mention the Rolls Royce, it might accrue in value. So a lot of these very expensive cars, Rolls Royces, some McLarens, some Ferraris and stuff like that, they, first 5 years, they might decrease in value, but after the 5 years, they accrue. That's why you have people who collect them. You get those one of ones, those one of 100s. You know what I'm saying? They accrue because of the law of rarity.
So for those of you that ain't buying $100,000, $200,000 cars, it'd be equivalent to buying a pair of J's and sitting on them for a while, dead stock, and then 10 years, 5 years later, bringing them back out, and that value being not what you paid for, but more.
Yeah. So I mean, people just gotta when at the basics of finances, they need to understand liabilities and assets. You know what I'm saying? And then there's different asset class. Dude, even goes down to the chains, man. You hear a lot of the older generation be like, "Oh man, chains they're stupid. They're this and that." They have diamonds in them and they're made of precious metals.
Whenever I want to just
you see what I'm saying?
Into something else, I can.
Yeah.
It's still gonna have the value.
Exactly, because you gotta understand something too. When you make a lot of money, you don't want to keep a lot of money in the bank. You want to keep it in what? Assets. What we're going through right now, inflation, right? Well, guess what? Hard assets are actually beating inflation because you got to think if you have your money in the bank, inflation is devaluing the dollar, right? So now it costs more to buy those assets. But when you have your so let's put it like this: Elon Musk doesn't have $300 billion in
cash, right?
He has it in art, maybe fine wine. What else? Cars, different things, real estate. You know what I'm saying?
Investments,
yeah, business and stuff like that. Life insurance. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people they don't understand what an asset is. Once you understand what an asset is, then you know why you see all these rich people buying these things. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why that brings us full circle
financial literacy.
Financial literacy.
It's all about financial literacy.
Because anybody can have money, but if you don't know what to do with it or how to manage it, then you'll be broke again.
You sure will, man. If you don't know the basics, someone will take advantage of you and you'll go broke. Yeah. You know, you have to know the basics, and the basics are understanding what is a liability and what is an asset. You know, like when I became an entrepreneur, when I started learning, remember I told you, like, I had a gunny talking about taxes and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. I didn't care about it, man. You know, then I started going, because of him, I started going to my tax person, and I would ask them, like, hey, I plan on doing this. What is this on my W-2? What is this? What is this? Mm-hmm. Oh, how can I, pay less in taxes? Oh, do this. Oh, buy a house. You could depreciate it. You could do this. Buy multifamily, buy commercial, do this. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start talking to these people, and then you start reading about it. Then you go on YouTube, you start watching it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then you start learning it, because guess what? We're in an age of information, man. It's at our fingertips. You need your phone, your laptop, internet's everywhere. It's free at McDonald's.
Yeah, it is.
Internet's free at McDonald's. So today we do not have an excuse. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, someone didn't teach me this. And they get that from that school mentality, because people think school should teach you everything. Mm-hmm. No, you need to have some initiative to open a book yourself. What do they say? If you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book, right? Yeah. All the information that you want is in a book. And because we're in a digital age, it's on a computer and it's on a phone.
Or ebook or whatever you want.
Yeah. Right. They'd be like, oh, y'all need to get off your phones. It's about what you're doing on that
phone. Your phone.
Because you could go to YouTube and watch fights, you could watch all type of stuff. Or you could just go to YouTube and find out about investing, real estate, whatever you want to do. And people are so nice that they're willing to show you how to do it faster than they learned how to do it.
Exactly.
They're willing to give you their mistakes.
That's the real game.
Yeah.
And that's what's up, man. Because I've been actually watching this one brother named, it's The Green Show. Mm-hmm. And it's an ex-NFL player, and he's making investments. He's giving tips. He's telling you when to buy in, when to pull out, everything. Yeah. And, things like that are really good to use. And like, you go on YouTube, and you can watch a million things, or you can watch something that's going to actually benefit you in the long run. And that's what I'm encouraging everybody to do right now.
YouTube.
Watch my show.
YouTube is better than college.
YouTube's university. It is a college.
Yo, you know why? You go to college for law, but they got you learning all this other stuff that you don't need to learn. You go on YouTube, you type in what you need to learn.
They tell you exactly that.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And you ain't got to pay tuition for it.
Right.
Now YouTube got you got to pay for
subscription.
Yeah. But that's if you don't want to pay for the ads.
That's a small fraction considering what you could be paying for college.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So that brings me to our next subject that you want to talk about, man. It's about to get a little intense. We got 2 more topics to talk about.
Okay.
And these ones right here, I really don't know what you're going to say, so I'm just going to throw it out there. Black Lives Matter.
I don't support them. So, the reason why I don't is just because, so let's put it like this. I don't support the organization, right? The fact of Black Lives Matter, I support.
True statement.
True statement, right? But the organization itself, I think a lot of times, we have to stop using our emotions and start looking into the things that we support. Because if you know anything about, so we were just talking about fathers in the homes, right? Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Black Lives Matter doesn't.
They don't support that. I read that.
Yeah, they
want to detach.
Yeah, get rid of the nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
What's a nuclear family? Father,
mom, kids.
What do you mean? In that original mission statement, they didn't even name the father. They said women, parents, and then they named a bunch of other stuff. But they didn't name.
They don't even want to acknowledge the man, the father.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. So I don't support that, because
goes back to what we just said. How important the father is in the home.
The father's the bedrock, the foundation of the family structure. You know what I'm saying? The father is. You can't do that. Not to mention, it's a Marxist group. So the founders are 3 women, you know what I'm saying, and they're Marxists. What's Marxism? A lot of people don't even know.
I don't know what that is, so tell me, please.
Karl Marx. Who's Karl Marx? He's the one who came up with the Communist Manifesto. A lot of people would tell you Marxism is the beginning of communism. You see what I'm saying? Communism doesn't.
And they're the ones that's in charge of this program.
Exactly.
That people don't know. I did do some research, and I didn't know that part. Yeah. But I did start reading into what they believe and the concept they were pushing, and I was like, because for a minute I'm like, yo, Black Lives Matter. I had some socks and all of that. I'm like, yo, I got a flag. And then
because they use that statement, like
it does get you. Because I'm like, yo, I totally agree with that. But then I see who's behind it, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Then you go to Black Lives Matter rally. You see who's there, and it kind of reflects that, and you're like,
and the thing is like, they use that statement because it's so powerful. Black Lives Matter, especially during that time of everything that was going on. Yeah. But let's be serious, man. One of the policies that came out of it is defund the police, right? So let's be honest. Who needs the police the more? What neighborhoods? Our neighborhoods need the most police. Look at all these cities that defunded the police, how crime went up. Crime didn't go up, it went up in the white neighborhoods, but not as much in the black neighborhoods.
Yeah, people getting robbed in the broad daylight now.
Because there's not enough police on the force, right? It's taking them forever just to come to a crime scene. You see what I'm saying? So, and I call it a scam because let's be honest, man, our communities need it the most. We might be against the police so much, 187 on a cop, you know what I'm saying?
See, the thing about it is, we're not against the cops. We're against cops that are abusing their power. Cops that are not really genuinely there to protect and serve. Cops that are going to automatically look at you and put you in a suspect box. Yeah. Like, he's got to be doing something. What is it? When was the last time you seen a cop pull up and it's like, you got a flat tire? Let's help you out and do it. It says protect and serve. I don't see much service and I don't see much protection when it comes to our community. So,
I'll disagree with that. I do see some cops, I do see because
that's what I'm saying.
You won't see it all the time.
I'm not talking about all cops because I think there's a big difference between cops and police officers. Police officers is the ones that I really feel like uphold the honor, the code, everything that they did, and they're really out there genuinely trying to make a change. Then I feel like cops are the ones that will just pull up without any information and kill you.
Well, I don't. So I think they're one and the same.
I'm glad we disagree. Don't try to disagree. Don't try to agree with me. Tell me why you disagree. So I want to hear this.
I think they're one and the same. But I'm gonna say this: when it comes to majority of police officers are doing the right thing. It's the small few that they put a telescope on. You're not gonna put your telescope on. Think about the news, right?
Wait. Why are you making that point? You don't think it's the same thing for African Americans though? Because everybody ain't no thug. We're not all thugs. We're not all this. But it's the small few.
It's the ethnic image. It's the ethnic image. Because guess what? When it comes to our ethnicity, we do have an image. Let's be honest.
Okay, but is that everybody though?
No, everybody's not.
And it's the same thing with the cops.
So I see what you're saying. It is.
Yeah.
But it's not everybody, but it's our ethnic image. Because think about it. It's 187 on an undercover cop. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then
why they make that song? Why they make that song?
And then it's fuck the police and all this other stuff.
I
get it. But what I'm saying is this: like, majority of cops are just trying to do their job. And I'll be honest with you. People say, white cops is racist and stuff like that. But guess what? How racist are they when they're trying to protect our neighborhoods? Black people ain't becoming a lot of black people aren't becoming cops. So who has to protect our neighborhoods? White cops do.
Okay, but do you think they asking to come to our neighborhood? Keep it real. Do you think a white cop signs up and says, "Oh yeah, put me in Compton, put me in Inglewood, put me in"? Hell no.
Yeah, but I don't.
So when they get out there, they scared.
We don't.
And when they're scared,
why are they scared though? Because of the ethnic image.
Because of what they've been taught to think.
No, not what they've been taught to think, but what they've seen. Because you got to remember, majority of black people are only 13%. 50% of the crime comes from who? Black people. So it's about what they've seen too. You see what I'm saying? So like,
I'll give you that if you want to break down statistics.
Because it's the ethnic. It's
25% of that, 50%. Bring him home, man. He innocent.
Oh my God!
Straight up. Free Pookie.
No, but I'll say this. I'm pro for cops, right? I'm pro because they have a hard job. Now I'm not gonna say there is no such thing as
No, I got cop clients. I got cop. You know, I know. I'm not throwing no shade at cops. But I'm saying, in the perspective of things, like the same way that we look and judge them is the same way they look and judge us. I think we just need to create a more of a dialect so that people can understand us, and then we can understand them.
Because we're like, oh, you know.
Because I do agree. I don't think that a dude signed up to work this job just to ruin people's lives. I do believe he's trying to do the job. But us on the streets, we are just trying to live and survive. So we're all just trying to do one thing.
Is there, you know, dirty cops? There's dirty everything. There's dirty firefighters. There's dirty military. There's dirty CIA, DIA. There's dirty politicians. So you can't say there's not dirty cops.
You name all those people, but the only ones that carry guns are cops. I love that point. And now we're going to move on. Because this last thing, I don't even know if we should be talking about on YouTube. Okay. And that's, you want to talk politics. Nobody ever agrees on politics. So,
you know something?
I'm going to let you say what you got to say. I don't have anything to say about politics.
So let's put it like this, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And I'm going to tell you why that's a problem. Because you're an adult. Okay. Kids talk about what? Video games, sports, and all that other stuff.
Nowadays, kids talk about politics.
Well, guess what? Well, yeah, they do. But guess what? As an adult, you have to talk about politics. I feel like I'm
not saying I don't talk about politics, but I'm just saying we on YouTube.
Yeah.
We got my little YouTube page. I don't know how well this is going to go over.
Yeah.
But we're going to run it out there and see what it does.
But even that's a problem. The YouTube censorship. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
What do you think the reason is why they don't want you to talk about politics?
Man, because people get too sensitive and emotional about it. Because, dude, let's be honest, man. I think, we're adults. Why we can't sit down and agree to disagree? Like we just did about the whole police thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's the same with my family or girls that I date. Oh, we don't talk about politics at the table. Oh, we don't talk about politics. It's an adult.
So when do you talk about it?
It's an adult conversation. Why are we scared to have adult because you're gonna get emotional because you believe in what you believe is 100% right and I can't have an opinion? What are we doing, people?
Right.
Politics, before I started, so when I became an entrepreneur is when I started understanding politics. Because of taxes, because who creates jobs? Most people put the job on say it's the president, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And that's when I started understanding and getting into politics, is because once I became an entrepreneur. Before that, I didn't care, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, because to be honest with you, what the president does really doesn't affect most of your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He made the big boy decisions, you know what I'm saying? But everything that goes on in my life is because of me. But as an adult, we should talk about politics because that's an adult conversation to have. We should be able to sit down and throw each other ideas and not beat up on and say this is stupid because you believe in this. You have your reasons for believing in it, and I have my reasons for believing what I have. My experiences are not going to be like yours. We have different experiences, so we need to agree to disagree. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the sign of a mature adult, because a lot of us are not mature. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are just one-side-minded. Oh, Democrat this, Republican this and that. Oh, you're stupid because you believe that. Oh, you're stupid because you believe in that. No. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to sit down and have a conversation. And if I'm able to change your opinion on things, that's great. And if we agree to disagree, that's even better. Because guess what? At least we had the conversation. Because what do we say about relationships? The number one thing about relationships is what? Conversation. You know what I'm saying? Being able to communicate.
Gotta talk about
and getting those ideas out there and why you believe in them. So So yeah, I 110% enjoy politics, man. Just because politics are like they're personal to the person who believes in what they believe, you know. Mm-hmm. They're personal. So I love talking about politics, man, especially in today's climate, because you know you got the Trumpers on this side, the people who believe in Obama on this side, the Democrats, the Republicans. You know what I'm saying? All of these QAnon, and I think it's very fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Now the violence part of it ain't okay. Mm-hmm. The violence part, the racism part of it ain't. But just the dialogue of it, I think is good, because we have to start understanding each other. Well, you know, what do we mean when we say Black Lives Matter? Well, what do you mean when you say, you know, all white people are racist? Or what do you mean when you say, you know, you feel like, you know, you don't want this, or you want reparations? You know what I'm saying? Or understanding slavery and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to agree to disagree. And I know I piss a lot of people off because I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm going to say what I believe, you know? And I believe that's a freedom that we have in America. And to be honest with you, you know, the censorship nowadays is crazy. So, yeah. But as adults, all in all, as adults, we should be talking about politics. You know, it's a shame that, you know, you could sit here and tell me, you know, and this is for men, women, I don't care. It's a shame that people could sit here and tell you everything that goes on with LeBron James, Tom Brady. They can tell you all these stats and stuff, mm-hmm. but they can't tell you anything about no laws that's been passed. Mm-hmm. They can't tell you anything about history. They can't tell you nothing about credit. They can't tell you nothing about investing. That's a huge problem, because guess what? These are adult things to do. Mm-hmm. Sports and stuff, adults do it, but guess what? Kids do it more for what? Fun.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, but politics are important.
This leads us to the wrap up. Man, it's been another incredible episode of the Hot Seat Podcast, man. I'm in the building with Trevormwoodruff, and he dropped some bombs on us today, man. I really appreciate you being here. For the guests and listeners that want to stay in contact with you, man, give me your ask, give me your information, so they can soak up some more of this game, man.
So my Instagram is Trevor M. Woodruff. Same thing goes with my TikTok. It's Trevor M. Woodruff. And then my Facebook is just Trevor Woodruff. So I try to keep it as simple as possible.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, my name.
All right, y'all. Make sure y'all go follow my man. If you need any tips on real estate investment, insurance broking, any business consultant, man, just anything geared towards money, taxes, just knowledge, financial literacy. He even going, me and him about to start working on my retirement plan. Yeah. So, you know, with that being said, man, tap in with my boy. Make sure you link up with him, man. I also have to plug the show. Big shout out to the Hot Seat Podcast, man. We've been shooting every Thursday, so I appreciate all my team. We've been coming together and working as hard as we can to provide, you know, quality content that's informative. You know, we want to educate, we want to motivate, we want to network, you know, we want to support. So everybody that's supporting us, we thank you. Make sure you like, share, and comment. And not only that, but for the ones that are subscribed, make sure that your subscription is public. That way, every week you could be one of those people that could get a shout out, because we like to shout out at least 3 of our subscribers a week. As you see, we've been trying to incorporate in the show as well. So make sure you're public so we can get at you, and tell a friend to tell a friend. So with that, it brings me to the quote of the day. And we like to make our quote something relatable to the show. And usually I say it, but today Trevor's going to hit us with one of his original quotes. You know what I mean? So look into that camera right there and tell the people what you got to say, man.
All right, well, here we go. If you dream bigger and expose yourself to bigger, you'll achieve bigger.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, man, it's been another episode of the Hot Seat Podcast with hot guests and hot topics. And we finna go get some hot wings from this spot he said he know about. So we gonna see if it's good, man. All right, thanks for tuning in, man. We'll see y'all on the next episode.